Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a vlog, I think. Not sure. I was supposed to do my live stream this morning, but I didn't bother. I'm on holiday and I thought I'm going to take this week to reassess things. Now, I've come to the conclusion, I've said this during my live streams, that I'm only focusing on the one project now. I've said before I've had my main project and I've had a secondary, but I might keep the secondary project, but only to work at those times I'm stuck, because that does help. But what I think I'll do is just concentrate on the one project from now until it's done and see how that goes. And what else I'm wanting to do, I'll just get it. You'll recognise this. This is my Heart Breathings courses folder that I'm doing the Publish and Thrive and our HB90 boot camp when it starts. It's not started yet, but I'm on, because you had the thing to, you can buy both. The bundle, that's what I'm trying to say. So what I'm doing, let me get this sorted, is if you've been a member of our Heart Breathings writing community, when it first started, it was actually the Heart Breathings Word Sprint Challenge group. And it was just a way of trying to figure out when your best time is. So I've printed it back out. And all it does is check, like day one, early riser, you can do it early. Start whatever time you're going to be bringing your sprint. So you do that in the morning. Day two is afternoon. Sorry, they're doing garden work outside. Day two is afternoon, then it goes to night owl, then day four's your choice. And day five is test your ideal writing time. You might have figured it out by then, combined with your best sprint length, best in your, because during this as well, you're also testing how long the word sprints, what sprint length is best for you. And I figured out that the 20 minutes is good for me. If I do a 2 hour block, and that's 5 20-minute writing sprints with the 5-minute break, and I found that really good for me. So I won't be testing the length, I'm going to keep the length, but the times of day I'm going to be sorting, because that to me, with doing night shift now, I've found that sometimes my motivation in the morning wasn't that great. I consider myself a morning writer because I'm an early riser, I'm a morning person. But we do night shift, it's 3 nights a week, it's very long nights, it's 12 and a half hours, but then I've got my travel time on top of that as well. I found that sometimes in the mornings, it's just my motivation is not that great. So I wanted to do this to try and maybe figure out, because night shift does mess with your body clock a bit. I mean, I can do it because I'm one of those people who can sleep whenever, wherever. So that's great. I do sleep all day. But it does mess with your body clock a bit. It's not a long-term thing for me. It's not something I could do for years and years. I have done it in the past, obviously. I mean, you know that. And I'm doing it again, but yeah, it's not great long-term for me, anyway. I know people that they've done night shift for years and years, and it's fine for them. It's not for me. So I'm going to work through this, and then I'm going to see if it actually changes my writing routine. It's just a case of, trying to figure out the proper writing routine for you to get the most productivity. And we'll just see how it goes. At the moment, I'm going to go and hang out my washing, because it's a nice day. There's a webinar starting in a few minutes, in about 5 minutes. It's the science fiction writers. Science fiction, what is it called again? No, you don't. You know what it is? It's from Pro Writing Aid. They have this is the Science Fiction Writers Week. Worlds of Tomorrow, I think it's called. And it's just a week-long webinar of all different speakers and authors and things like that. So yeah, the first one starts today in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go out and put my washing out, like I said, get back and watch this. I've got my cup of tea ready and I've got a notebook and all that. I'll probably sit doing it while I'm actually filling out my planner for this week, but I'll show you that later.
Now I want to talk to you about two other special things that are happening this week. So first is the community. This is what our awesome community looks like. You can join it using your Pro Writing Aid username and password. So you can come join it, come right in here to the Science Fiction Writers Week discussion. We'll be posting news and updates in here, and then we'll also be talking, just to each other. So feel free to share your main learnings, anything that you are interested in, and this will be like a great opportunity for a place to come and just chat during the week. And again, totally free to enter that, and you can use it, enter it using your Pro Writing Aid username and password.
So I thought I'd mention, we've just done the first virtual classroom with the Pro Writing Aid, the Sci-Fi Week, as you can see here. I've put it up there so you can see. It's via Zoom, but you don't have to, have your microphone go, because you're just listening to people talking. It didn't start off with what we were expecting. It was a world building one. But it's people from World Anvil. I'm sure you've heard of it. If not, it's worth having a look at. It's something I've been looking into for my world building, like to create a sort of world Bible, to create a world Bible. Geez, not hard to say. Anyway, there was something happened their side, they couldn't do it, so somebody just popped on from Pro Writing Aid and explained what to do, so we can see what's coming up. So the next thing is an interview with Alistair Reynolds, who's a sci-fi writer. Actually, I've read a couple of his books and I've found them quite interesting. Then we have a How to Get Out of Revision Hell workshop. Then there's something all about Pro Writing Aid. It's not something I've tried yet, but I have kind of kept my eye on it. Then they have a networking event where you can meet other people. They've called it speed dating, which I don't like the name of. And they put you into groups of 4 or 5. I am not sure I will be there. I mean, these are different. They give you the Eastern, EDT, Eastern, is that what it is? Time, and the UK time. So, yeah, we'll see. And then it's got essentials of writing science fiction and creating emotionally impactful science fiction. And that's all today. So I'm not sure. I'll definitely come back for the interview with Alistair Reynolds. I think I'll listen to that. That's in a couple of hours. Well, at 3 p.m. here. The revision hell, I'm not sure. So we'll see about the other ones. But this is, goes on every week. All week, I should say, not every week. And they have different ones. I've done the fantasy writing week, and they have, other genres as well. So we're going to see that. But what else I'm doing, I'll show you. When we're talking about world building, I have another folder here. And this is for Anna Stevens' Worlds Apart world building course. And this is one, she'd sent out an email. Let's turn you down a bit. To people see, who wanted to fill it. It was a questionnaire, just what you expect from writing courses, all that sort of thing, how much plan. It's Worlds Apart. You get 8 workbooks, and this one is dealing with the physical world. And then we have ones, the next one is, I can find it. This is just, you take your ideas, you fill in what you think. And then the next one's culture and society. Now a lot of this, yes, I have done, but she also gives a video. So at the moment I'm listening to Alistair Reynolds. He's a sci-fi writer. I've read a couple of his books. I actually quite enjoyed them. But yeah, at the moment he's just talking about, you know, the science behind the story. Because he apparently worked for did he say space? Something to do with space. Space engineering, space something or other, whatever. So yeah, it's been quite interesting. I'm not a hard sci-fi fan, but I do like, I do read science fiction every now and then. It's not just fantasy, surprise, surprise, but yeah, it's been quite interesting. So something else I did, when were we? Last Sunday, on the 21st, we went to Alnwick Castle. On our trip, I wanted to go to the gardens because they have a poison garden. And I just thought it sounded really interesting. So we thought, well, why don't we just do both? You do have to pay separately for each one, but you've got Alnwick Castle and you've got Alnwick Gardens. So we went to the castle first, and I did not realise that it's actually, well, we kept calling it the Harry Potter castle. It's where in the first two movies you saw, you know, the kids being outside doing the broomstick train and things like that. And yeah, I didn't realise that, so when we got there, it was quite sad. They did do things like broomstick training that the kids could do, which to me, we were at a distance, and fair enough, we were just as we were walking into the castle, we were looking. It just looked like the kids had the brooms between their legs and were running back and forward. But from the laughter and all that was coming, they must have been really enjoying it. So I'm just trying to find I've just got, you know, a whole book here. It's all the inside. I actually got told off for taking a picture of it without thinking. I mean, I know there's places that do this, and it's fair enough, you know. Some of them have got a lot of very expensive things there. But I was taking a picture outside, and without thinking, as I stepped through the door, I saw something. Oh, I'll take a picture of that. It's, no inside photography! And you're like, oh, okay. Jeez. So that's Alnwick Castle. Just there. So yeah, so I'll put in a few photos of that so you can see. I don't know if you can see better there. But yeah, it was really interesting. I mean, it is one, I would say for me, it's one of those places you go once and then it's like, yeah, been, thanks. And of course they do have some Harry Potter stuff there because, you know, Harry Potter was filmed there. So then we went to the gardens. Yeah, saying that, I still bought another notebook. Even though I don't need more notebooks, but I bought one. Do you know, the funny thing is, they do have a lot of Harry Potter stuff, or the merchandise and that, but they didn't have much Ravenclaw stuff, and I'm a Ravenclaw. But they hardly had any. It was all, I think because, well, there's always Gryffindor and Slytherin, and there's always that stuff. But I think Hufflepuff is the sort of cool one now, isn't it? But anyway, we went to the gardens, and the first thing we went to was the poison garden. This is quite interesting. And essentially, you know, you've got plants in cages because they're dangerous. You're not allowed to touch anything or smell anything for obvious reasons. And you'd get a tour guide. You can't just go in and wander about yourself. We were a little well, I wasn't, because I didn't really notice. My sister was. It's supposed to be groups of 20, but we had like over 30 people in ours, and it's a small space, so you kind of had to, you know, move around just to be able to see what he's talking about. But it was really interesting. And they're all UK plants. There's nothing exotic. You know, you expect plants that kill you to be, you know, in the jungles or tropical or things like that. But these are all UK plants, so they grow here, and some of them grow in the wild as well. And there's one that, I mean, this is a really nice bit, and I like how they've done it because it's all kind of, you know, old, supposed to look like an old journal, I suppose. And of course you have the usual belladonna and all that. But the one that they were talking about, it's called Rue. And if you know Shakespeare, it's like, you'll rue the day. And that's because you just brush against it and it takes away the skin's UV protection. So then, of course, you'll get burned. The UV will burn you because whatever it does to your skin, that part of it no longer has protection. And it showed photos of, there was a little girl who had huge blisters on her hand where she'd brushed against it. And they said that'll take months to disappear completely. And then she's still susceptible up to 7 years. Afterwards, they say she's probably had to wear gloves for the rest of her childhood because it's that bad. And you're kind of like, what the hell? And what they also did, which I thought was quite genius actually, they have a drug abuse program, and they'll take them into the poison garden show because they had a cannabis plant in a cage in the show, you know, this is grass, and a little sign that says, please keep off the grass, as a joke. So it says they'll take the kids in and they'll show them the things and all that. It says, and they pay far more attention to what they're saying because they're in a place that has plants that can kill them. Whereas if they were doing it maybe in the rose garden or out in the lawn, they wouldn't really listen, they would be bored. Because they're in a dangerous place, they listen. You're like, that's a really, you know, that makes much more sense. So yeah, it was really interesting. And they do have a cherry blossom orchard. Obviously it wasn't blossoming then. We want to go back in when it is the cherry blossom season. They have the biggest, it's white cherry blossom trees they have, and the largest one in the world apparently. Because we were saying there, how can it be the largest in the world when Japan has it? But these are white cherry blossoms, so maybe it's just specifically white cherry blossom trees that they have the largest orchard with. And yeah, so it was really interesting. The gardens themselves are beautiful. It was a beautiful day. They have a bamboo labyrinth as well, which is really, it was a big circle, and then that's hedged off, and when you go in, you know, the bamboo comes over, and the sunlight, because it's such a bright day as well, the sunlight just filtered through. So it's beautiful. It's not really a labyrinth. The path just kind of squiggles round, and then you end up in the backside. So, you know. So yeah, it was really, really good. A beautiful day. Very busy. There was a lot of tourists there. But like I said, we didn't realise it was the Harry Potter castle, as folk kept calling it. But well worth a visit, and I will stick some photos in that we took. And also my son got to be a princess. At the castle they have an artisan's courtyard, and they just have a little stall thing where you can just have costumes, and you can walk around the courtyard in a costume if you like. And my son decided they wanted to be a princess, which is fair enough. You be what you want, son. But yeah, so that was a really good day we had last week. So, I think that is going to be me for now. I'm going to probably do little snippets each day for, like I said, I'm doing this word sprint challenge again because I want to figure out if my actual preferred writing time has changed because I'm on night shift and because it makes it does mess with your body clock, no matter what people say. There are some people who can do, you know, they're probably night owls anyway. I'm not. I'm a morning person. I can still do night shift, stay up all night, because I can sleep at any time, anywhere. So that's my fear, because there's some people say, oh, I got like 2 hours sleep or something. You're like, oh, I slept for about 7. I slept all day. Yeah, I am grateful that I can actually have a good sleep, because otherwise I would not be able to do it. I would have to say, no, I'm sorry, just so that'll be happening this week. It's my, like I say, it's my, I've got a week off. It's actually like a week and a half for the way my days on fall. So it's more like a week and a half, which is great. So I plan to work out this writing thing, see if I've got a better way of doing it. And also I want to do a lot of reading this week as well, when I'm off. Because I've got out of the habit of reading for the past 3 or 4 months, really. And I want to get back into it. I do listen to audiobooks. I've started them again. And I'm listening to Rendezvous with Rama from Arthur C. Clarke. Because apparently Denis Villeneuve is going to be doing a movie, maybe, based on it. And I've read it years ago, so I thought I'll read it again. So I'm reading that, and I want to go through some of the old James Herbert books as well. He was a British horror writer. That is my, oh, I'll show you this. I've got something else to help. This is also something else to help me, you know, set up a writing routine. And it is a mister. And it goes through. It's better in the dark, obviously. I think it's really cool. It's got baby powder essential oil in it at the moment, and it's pretty strong. I think I was a bit heavy-handed with it. You just sit there going, Jesus Christ, strong. But yeah. This is now part of my routine. I sit down at my desk, this gets switched on along with the computer, and then that's me. I'm writing. So that's me for now. I am going to go and sort out some other stuff. I'm going to finish my planning. There's more coming up in the sci-fi week later on. I don't think I'll be doing the networking one, just because I don't want to. I don't want to be speaking to people. Oh, I'm so antisocial. And then I keep complaining because nobody ever visits me. And you're like, because you don't like people. Anyway, if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. It always helps little channels like mine to grow a bit. And I will probably have a vlog up next week, actually, because I'll do a little bit each day maybe to see how this word sprint challenge is going. And I'll also have my live stream back up next week. I just decided, oh, you know, can't be arsed. That's essentially what it was. You know, nothing else. I had nothing else on. I just could not be arsed. Anyway, bye.